Yeah, so the Beatles were on the way to the United States, and they had been listening to this album. Derek Taylor had turned them on to Harry's album, which is Pandemonium Shadow Show, and which has on the back, by the way, it's got a whole series of my black and white shots in the liners. That thing that was made into a photo montage. Very, very beautifully done by Don Burgess, who was the art director at the oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the and one of the big Esquire magazine. And so he'd done it beautiful. He took my photos and cut them out and physically cut them and made them and glued them together. Made this photo montage to the back of the album. Dick Hendler he was new at our art department at RCA, and he wanted to show off, so he did the cover, throwing my cover out. RCA later brought my cover back and used it with Harry looking in the mirror in the carousel. That's a spooky shot, beautiful shot. And originally, the title of the album, oh, I'll tell you that another time, that's a whole big story by it itself. So the Beatles, right, so the Beatles came, they were on their way to New York, but they hadn't arrived, they were still in London. Okay, Harry is exhausted. He's still working at the B of A at this point. And he is exhausted as hell. He goes to sleep. He called me up. He lived in Santa Monica with his mom. He was getting divorced from his first wife, and he had not yet hooked up with Diane, who was at that time Greenland Landon's wife. And Greenland Landon and Diane were science fiction fans, which is how I knew them from many years ago. And so Harry goes to sleep, and he's awakened in the middle of the night by a phone call. It's timed in such a way that you would think it would be daytime someplace. Well, it is daytime someplace, but he's not hip to this yet. He picks up the phone. He says, "Yes." Is this Harry Nilsson? "Yeah, this Harry." "Oh, we got to get, you're fucking great, man. You're fucking great. We got to get together sometime." Yeah, fine. Who is this?" "It's John Lennon." "Who is this really?" "No, it's John Lennon." "Come on, cut the joke. Who is it actually?" "It's John Lennon. Can't you hear the long distance? Can't you hear the bloody fucking long distance?" And so he says, "We'll catch up with you sometime soon." And he hangs up the phone. A couple of hours later, Paul calls. Same basic thing. "Harry, yes, you're fucking great, man. I love your fucking music, man. It's just great, man. So we'll catch up with you, man." So then Ringo was supposed to. He says, "Ringo's going to call you," but Ringo didn't call that day. He called the next day, but he didn't call that particular day. Anyway, Harry gets off the phone, and he called me up, and he says, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he says, "Weirdest fucking thing happened." He says, "Some people are playing jokes on me. They're pretending to be the Beatles, and they're calling me in the middle of the night and shit." He says, "It wasn't you, was it?" He was calling all his friends to find out who it was who was doing this to him. You know, no, man, no, I swear to God it wasn't. You know, and so that's how. And then eventually, sure enough, he did hook up with them in New York and just a bunch of stuff with them at that time. But what a funny thing! In the middle of the night, "You're fucking great, man. This is John Lennon," you know. Imagine having that coming out of a sleep shock and into that kind of scene. You know, that's the story. That's what really happened. Anyway, so ultimately, Derek Taylor was responsible for Harry's success. Ultimately, Derek Taylor single-handedly made it possible for Harry to have the success that he did, including what happened to him later on. And I'll